I'm Yvette Rogers, Outreach Coordinator for Celtic Colours International Festival. Over the years, I've been so fortunate to travel to almost every corner of Cape Breton Island to work with some remarkable people who help make their communities what they are. This summer, I traveled around the island and met up with some folks along the way. Join me on a road trip and explore some of the unique communities and vibrant cultures that make this beautiful island the home of our hearts. Just like the lakes and rivers weave their way through the mountains, traditions weave their way through the rural communities of Inverness County. Heritage crafts are a regular part of life here. They've helped to make connections between people and culture. They can be a manner of sharing Gaelic songs through milling frolics, or found in the craftsmanship that is adorning Mi'kmaq regalia. Many artisans live in the area, and their work can often be seen at the Inverness County Centre for the Arts. Seeing the world through the eyes of an artist is an opportunity to gain perspective on their way of life and how they interpret the world around them. Weaving is one of the oldest living craft traditions. From Mi'kmaq basket weaving with wood, to weaving a blanket of homespun wool on a loom. These ancient techniques are kept alive today, especially in this neck of the woods. Situated along the northern side of beautiful Lake Ainslie is the Scottsville School of Crafts. The school has hosted workshops and exhibits of artwork and heritage handcrafts for almost 30 years. Lake Ainslie is the largest freshwater lake in the province. It feeds the southwest branch of the Margarees River, which merges with the northeast branch of the river at Margarees Forks. There are many communities that together make up what's known as the Margarees. Plenty of wildlife thrives in the area. In fact, this heritage river system is known for its salmon and gaspereau and attracts fishers from all over. This community is special. Just ask Mary, who greets visitors to the area and has been a long-time community volunteer. How would you describe Margarees to anyone who's never been here?
Well, first of all, they're missing out. They need to come to Margarees. I would tell people to come for the people, namely some of the Gaelic and Acadian culture is wonderful to take part in. The music is fantastic in this area, just the heartfelt, strong roots that are part of the whole music scene. We have wonderful places to dine. We have great little bistros and we have lovely cafes. We have wonderful scenery. The fall is absolutely lovely along the river. We have Egypt Falls, which is also known as McFarland Falls or Appin Falls, and it's located in Upper Margarees, and it's just a hidden treasure. And then our beaches. We have the Whale Cove and Chimney Corner and Mercury Harbor and Belcote Beach. You can't pick one. They're just so lovely. And wintertime activities are wonderful too. People skidoo and snowmobile, I should say, and they cross-country ski and snowshoe around the area. There's lots of things to do.
The landscape around Margarees is special, and so are the people. Many family farms decorate the picturesque hills and valleys of the area. The cooperative movement has its roots here, and there's a long tradition of cooperation amongst the farmers, fishers, and people who call this place home. I've heard stories of fresh-picked corn left on a neighbor's step, or a meal prepared and delivered down the road for no other reason than to be neighborly.
It's not unheard of to find, somebody gives maple syrup or berries or like you mentioned before, some corn, things like that. You might find that on your doorstep, but you in turn will give a dozen eggs to someone, or we have some extra tomatoes if you'd like to make some chow, here it is. And that's the way this community works. There's a great sense of cooperation. There's a great sense of community pride. We live cooperatively, and I think it shows. I think it shows to visitors who come to this area.
You might expect Mary spent her whole life in Margarees, but she started out in a very different part of the world.
I started out in New York City, and from there we moved to Maine, and from Maine, I moved here, but my mother comes from here and has lived here, her youth. She's a native Gaelic speaker, and she now lives here with us after living in the US for a number of years. I've never wanted to live anywhere other than Margarees. I didn't think when I lived in New York that anybody would say, oh man, they live in New York, how lucky they are, because all I said was, oh, they live in Margarees. You can walk through a hayfield, you can jump in the river, you can dry the dishes with a multitude of cousins around the sink with you, Wasn't the same in New York City like it is here. So I appreciate living here, and I really do like it very much. I don't want to live anywhere else. I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy I could help you.
Yes, thank you so much, and I really, really appreciate your time today and welcoming us into the most generous and cooperative and warm-spirited community that is Margarees.
Thank you.
Like Mary, I couldn't imagine living anywhere else either. On this island, there's no shortage of beautiful beaches. I was grateful to end this summer day with a dip in the ocean at Mercury Harbor, one of my all-time favorites.